Not sure what day this is. It is whatever day it is, 7, 8, not that important. What is important is that we're out here. We're back here in the moment, doing it again. As you can see, no one's trekked this. It's incredibly white. There we go. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Now let's go back to my face. And now back to the landscape. Beautiful. That's where we're hiking today. All right, you ready? Let's go, Finn. So day 7, 8. I'm still reading this book. It's by James Nestor, Breathe. Wow, he makes it seem like being able to properly breathe through your nose fixes everything almost. He's talked about this case of this woman who had scoliosis and was able to straighten out her spine through breathing. And apparently there's this thing called lung expanding stretches, which is something I'm gonna try out before I give my full review. Yeah, just what a fucking crazy ass book. I think breathing has that kind of effect. Simply through your nose, just breathing through your nose has that kind of effect on everything, really. Apparently this is fuck COVID. What people need to start doing is breathing through their noses and everything will get fixed. So I'm a lot more conscious, maybe because it's out of fear. I'm a lot more conscious that making sure I'm breathing through my nose. Let's take a look. It's being conscious, breathing through my nose. What do I want to talk about today? What do I want to rant about for the next 15 minutes? Besides being just grateful, again, I'm someone who grew up in LA, grew up in the hood. To be able to come out here and just talk, walk in this ice. And to just, man, dude, access to nature. Look at this. Come on, Finn. Let's go. Yeah, you got it, Finn. You got it. You got it. To be able to do this with my dog is just... I'm just very grateful, man. I'm super grateful and super thankful that I can do this, that I have access to this, that I don't know, this is what my life consists of. My lifestyle is this. And the first things I do is come out here, take in nature, take in the mountains, walk in this cold ass snow, cold ass ice. It's right now rubbing my feet raw. How can I complain? It's so pristine out here. It's so absolutely gorgeous out here. Like, I'm gonna pause the video here because I gotta take some pictures. It's just too beautiful not to capture. How you doing, Finn? Too beautiful not to capture, man. Again, I'm blessed. I'm grateful that I'm out here. I'm working towards the things that I want to work at. For the most part, I don't have to answer to anybody, really. No one really dictates my schedule or my time or my routine, I do that. And just the fact that I can do that, the fact that I have that capability, that option. I mean, what more else could I want? I can see my family when I want to see them. I can see my friends when I want to go see them. I have the option to decide that I can do what I want to do, usually when I want to do it, without worrying too much about, oh, well, I gotta work this day, my job, my manager needs me to come in, and I'm grateful, so fucking grateful that I can come out here and just trek through all this ice, trek through all this snow, and just enjoy it, man. Because first time I ever actually encountered ice was out in Fort Bragg, North Carolina. I was 18. First time I had ever seen it. And we were supposed to go down to the motor pool so for people who don't know, motor pool is this place where you have all your Humvees, your trucks, all the vehicles that you use for training. We were supposed to go down there and get our stuff dispatched. AKA usually means do your checks on them, make sure oil, fluids, nothing's leaking, nothing's broken on it. Take them out for a test drive if you need to, just to make sure that they're operational for training purposes. And we were down there, and I remember grabbing a snowball and throwing it. One of my boys, he's from Montana, so snow was nothing new to him. I remember grabbing the snow, just making a snowball and just fucking throwing it at that dude. I wasn't trying to hurt him. I wasn't trying to hit him, actually. You know, I was just trying to peg him with it because I've seen cartoons, and the cartoons, it always looks like fun. But what I ended up starting was a fucking giant snowball fight in the motor pool. Got half of our squad involved. Cartoons lied to you. Cartoons fucking lied to me. Here I thought that shit wasn't gonna hurt, man. It felt like getting hit by some cold ass rocks. It was not fun. But again, for someone who never experienced snow, it was still fun, even though it was painful. Simply because I got to feel, I got to feel a different side, a different texture of Mother Nature. And growing up in the city, living in the city, especially in LA, you're kind of shielded from that. You're shielded from the elements of nature. You're shielded from the temperatures. You're shielded from the cycles of nature. And while that can be very, very comfortable, that could be just what somebody needs, I think there's something beautiful about being exposed to the elements of nature, even if they may be harsh, because it just allows you to appreciate. It just allows you to appreciate everything, man. Like, look at this. I'm trekking through snow. So is my dog. Look at him. City boy dog. He grew up in the hood. First time he encountered snow last year. And look at him. Where are you going, Vin? He's just out here exploring, man. Like, where in LA could I do that? Where in LA could I have access to something like this? Hang out with my dog and just play in the snow. Come on. It's just, man, I sound like a repetitive robot, but it's just, I'm so grateful. I'm grateful that I'm out here. I'm grateful that I have access to nature, that I've been exposed to it. I wish more people had access to this. I mean, look at the clouds. It makes you think of like what our early human ancestors must have felt like when they were out living in this. They were in this 24/7, so they became very intimate with the seasons, with the passing of time out here, with the changing of forms, the leaves, the trees, the flowers. And how, despite the harshness of it, despite the brutality of all this, right? Nature's indifferent to our suffering. You could be a baby bird out here, freezing your ass off and die. Mother Nature's not really gonna pay attention. But despite all that, our ancestors revered nature. They revered the power of everything around here. They found solace, they found inspiration. They created myths out of the plants, out of the animals, because they noticed certain qualities of these animals that helped them survive out here. And maybe they thought that by paying respect to that animal, that energy that it had, maybe there's something clever about the fox, about the coyote. Maybe there was the tenacity of a bird to fly in these storms, whatever it was. Maybe they thought by paying respect to it and honoring it and creating a story around it, a myth around it, that they can take on those attributes. Take on those attributes and survive. Survive just like the animals and the plants do out here. And maybe that could be placebo, could be complete bullshit. But simply for them to create meaning out of those experiences, to create a culture, a set of beliefs, of values that help them survive in this kind of environment, this kind of time. Maybe that whole thing was fucking worth it, because now we're the descendants of those ancestors. We're the descendant of those people that lived in such extreme and harsh environments, that we don't have to do that anymore. We have the luxury of a home, of a heater, of AC, consistent access to food, consistent access to transportation, where you can take a car, you can take a plane, a train to get from point A to point B, versus having to travel through all this. Can you imagine how in touch you have to be with all this out here? How intimate you have to be able to differentiate what paths to take, what paths not to take, how you have to rely on community and other people to survive out here. I don't think anyone, I don't give a fuck how tough you are, I don't give a fuck you're Wim Hof on your own, you can't survive out here. And I think maybe our early ancestors realized that from the get-go. They realized that family and the community around them was the most important thing, whether that was relationships that they developed with other human beings, through trading, through sharing of knowledge, of information, of resources, whether it was relationships with Mother Earth, with the plants, with the animals, developing that kind of integrativeness, that kind of integrity with the earth, that allowed them to transcend themselves and survive and find meaning in the experiences that they had out here. And to me, man, that's a beautiful thing. It's an absolutely beautiful thing. I wish I could share this with my family, but I don't think my family would be down to hiking some shit like this. I'm sure some of my friends would be. But just to have a community like that, based on surviving challenges like this, overcoming challenges like this, making meaning, carving your own path through these woods, whatever those woods may be, whether they're real woods or metaphorical, to have the community and the support of people around you is a very beautiful thing. And I think that's how early humans survived, how they thrived. I think Sebastian Junger talks about this in his book Tribe, that our bodies and our brains were evolved in an environment where we needed small bands of human beings to survive, and we're still equipped with that hardware, with that software. And not to give away too much about the book, but I mean, it rings pretty true with my experiences in the military, to take a group of people, and this is the crazy part, because I know this is going to sound fucking crazy as I'm saying it, but to take groups of people from all walks of life, whether white, black, brown, red, purple, green, none of that matters. From all walks of life, all kinds of belief systems, Christian, Muslim, vegetarians, fucking meat eaters, country boys, city boys, and to put them in an environment and to have them become one tribe and overcome challenges as one tribe, man, it's a beautiful thing. And in the military is where I learned that someone can hate you for the color of your skin, but yet they can respect you enough that they're willing to put their life on the line to help you out. Despite being racist, think about that. Despite being racist, they're willing to do that. And you knowing they're fucking racist against you. You do the same thing for them. Because when it comes down to it, it's like you depend on these people for your survival. And I think that's one thing that modern humans have lost touch with, is that they don't have. Come on, Ben. They don't have that anymore. I know living in the city, living in LA, I didn't feel that. I didn't feel connected to a lot of people out there. But being out here is something different. Remember the first snowstorm we had last year? I was asked out, couldn't get back home. The roads were terrible. We had a 2-wheel drive car, even with chains, couldn't really go anywhere. And it was just some dude riding around in a truck. I had a pie here because I was trying to take it home to my baby mama, and I had her latte here, and I'm trying my best. Snow's falling, shit's fucking falling over, trees are breaking down, and I'm trying my best just to get home and keep this latte warm for her. And this dude's like, "Hey man, you need a ride?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." He gave me a ride, dropped me off as close as he could to where I was at. He couldn't get up into it either. But just that kind of generosity, kindness to strangers. When you're faced with nature challenges, you know not to take personal, because Mother Nature is not personal. Mother Nature just exists and does what she does, goes through her cycles, and either you get caught up in it and you're prepared, or you get caught up in it, you're not prepared. You gotta find a way to survive. Usually that kind of survival comes through other human beings. Because if you've never experienced it, you've never done it, you ain't never gonna do this shit on your own. So, again, I'm just grateful that I have all this. I have access to this. You know, I'm out here doing it on my own. Finn, let's go! It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing to be able to take this kind of sense, this kind of energy of relationship to Earth, being able to bring it to people who have never experienced it, to show it to them. Another beautiful thing. Hopefully I can capture some of that in my writing, in my poetry. Let's go, Vin. Yeah, so again, going back to the book Tribe by Sebastian Junger, he talks about how human beings survived, and that's how they evolved. You got the hardware and the software for it. But one of the cool things about life and the mind, the brain you're given, is that it's software. If you think of yourself as software, you can always reprogram it. As soon as you realize you're the programmer, you can write your own scripts, you can write your own programs, you can start debugging your mind and the blueprints and the programs you're given by society, by your family, by other human beings, and you can tailor it to whatever you want. The only limit is your imagination. But then again, there's programs that have words. For example, relying on other human beings, relying on others for survival, helping other people out, reciprocity, giving and receiving access to resources and sharing of resources. It's a program we got. It's because it fucking works, man. It still works. It's still valuable even now. It irks me when I hear people say they're self-made, or they're the only ones who rose above whatever circumstance they had to get to the success of where they're at now. It's like, bitch, I know you lying. You got fucking help. People fucking helped you, whether you acknowledge that shit or not. You didn't do that shit on your own. You may wrote the programs, but I guarantee you somebody somewhere taught you and showed you something different. That's why you were able to do that program. It wasn't because it came out of the blue to you and some sort of inspired state of mind. Is somebody shared that with you. Pay homage to that, honor that, respect that. The same way our early ancestors respected Mother Nature and the earth and their relationships with all living things around them. They honored that even when they had to kill somebody or kill something to eat it, to survive. They honored that. They respected it. So again, now I'm ranting. Just want to show y'all again. It's fucking beautiful out here. It's absolutely beautiful out here. Someone's home. I'm not gonna go up there too much because I'm not trying to get shot out here. It is this kind of environment. But thank you for listening. This is a short video. Hey Finn, you have any last words to say? Boy, nature right there. Nature in my home. You imagine what it's been like back in the day when you and your dog were like this, surviving. I'm sure it's a primal thing. I felt it when I was overseas. I felt it when I was in the military. Maybe that's something that I've missed. And I'm sure a lot of veterans can relate. They probably missed that brotherhood, that sisterhood, that band of family that would do anything to survive with you. Miss that. Still find it out here. You just gotta recreate it. So when you can recreate it, you can recreate it, you can recreate it, and you can make it better, where it's not based on war, it's not based on destruction of someone else's livelihood, someone else's culture, someone else's access to resources. If anything, it's based on the survival of you, people you care about, bringing them up, leveling them up, thriving, and then sharing what you find valuable, sharing that help that you received on your way up, sharing those resources instead of fucking hoarding them. What's the point of hoarding them, man? Shit makes no sense. Let's go, Vin. Anyways, thank y'all for listening. Day 8. I'm gonna leave y'all with this. Hey. Love your life. Love everything in it.